Hello, everybody. It's Bill. It's that college football guy here with another video. It's subscriber roll call predictions part two. Um, First thing I'm going to say off right now, this is the last day that subscriber schools can be added in. So take a look at the video I did, subscriber roll call. It was done on Friday of last week. So scroll back a little bit past the Mountain West predictions. You'll find it. If your school's not mentioned and you want it shout it out in the comments. These are all the schools right as of so far. We're not in either the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, SEC, the American, the Mountain West, the Pac-12, or the Sun Belt. So this is the last day. By midnight tonight, list is closed. And on Sunday, I'll announce who the schools are. And then the following Friday, when I do my kickoff show, I'll be debuting the subscriber rankings for all the schools. But today, this is part two. So we're talking about UTEP, North Dakota, which is FCS, Bowling Green, and Ohio. So this is kind of a MAC flavor to this one, with a little bit of Conference USA and FCS sprinkled in. So shall we get to this? All right. The UTEP Miners. 3-9 last year in Conference USA. New head coach Scotty Walden takes over. He was previous. I know a little bit about Scotty for the offense he ran. He was the head coach at Austin Peay, which is in Clarksville, not far from Nashville. So I know right where he is. He did a good job there. How well is this going to translate to the FBS level? We're going to see. Kane McConnell. He looks like to be the odds-on favorite to be the starting quarterback. The flow is going to be right there. I think he's going to do a great job. Let's say we have schools have their transfers from the transfer portal. This has got a heavy Austin Peay influence. There are a lot of guys who came in from Austin Peay, and there's a lot of guys who left from UTEP. So there's a heavy Austin Peay influence in the offense. Biggest concern I have about all the offense there, because there's transfers coming in. All 5 starters from the offensive line are gone. That's going to be an issue, and how is that going to work in here? You have a lot of transfers coming in, so it's a big job ahead of them. Defensively, the linebacker room looks to be basically a complete rebuild, and that's going to be an issue of concern. The defensive line looks like they're going to be the strength of the defense, and they're going to have to make plays in order to help things out. Defensively, the secondary is actually pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good about itself. They can make the tackles. They just need to get more picks, because they had a loss to transfer, but not as much as the rest of the team. So the defense is probably going to be the strong suit of this team versus the offense. But how are we going to do this year? Okay, Vegas has their win total at 4.5. That's what their Vegas win total is. So we get into this. Starts off the season. Week 1, on the road at Lincoln against Nebraska. If you watch the Big Ten predictions, and what a stunner, you're losing to Nebraska. Then you face Southern Utah at home. Yeah, that's a win. On the road at Liberty. You lost to them by 14 at home last year. You're losing to them again. On the road at Colorado State. And the following week, you saw the Mountain West Conference predictions earlier. You already know how this goes. They lose to Colorado State. Sam Houston State. You beat them by 8 on the road last year. I think you're going to continue that, and you're going to beat them at home again this year. Then you get the bye. Out of the bye, on the road at Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky is a very high-powered offense. They are going to be putting up points. It wouldn't surprise me at all if, when it's all said and done at the end of the season, they're top 10 in FBS and offense. It would not, in total yards or points or whatever, it would not shock me at all. Definitely top 2 or 3 in the G5, without a doubt. But with that firepower, you lost to them by 8 at home last year. Now you're on the road with that offense. Yeah, you're losing again. Home against Florida International, you beat them by 13 on the road last year. Now you got them at home. You're beating them again. On the road at Louisiana Tech, you lost to them by 14 at home last year. They have been they have played you tough recently. Last season, definitely. And unfortunately, I think you're losing to them again. Then home against Middle Tennessee State. If you watched part 1 of the subscriber roll call predictions, you know the fact that I have you losing to Middle Tennessee State. Home against Kennesaw State. I looked at the rosters and how this is going. This is basically kind of a coin flip for me. So you're at home, so I'm going to give you the win. Then you get a bye on the road at my balls at Tennessee. You watch the SEC predictions and stunner. Yes, I know they're losing to Tennessee. They finished the season on the road at New Mexico State. Now, it's a new coaching staff at New Mexico State and everything else, but you lost to them by 21 at home last year. Some players left, not all of them, and you're losing again to New Mexico State, which means you're going to finish the season 4-8, 3-5 in Conference USA. Now let's get to the one that I had the most work to do. The North Dakota Fighting Hawks. Not North Dakota State, the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. 7-5 last season in FCS. They lost to Sacramento State in the first round of the FCS playoffs. Vegas did not put out a win total for them. Bubba Schweigert is your head coach. He's been 61-50 in 10 seasons at North Dakota, being the little brother, basically. I went through the roster. Nope, I went through the roster on this team. I'm going like, there's a lot. This team is young. This team is young. I've been looking for upperclassmen, and you had to go on an expedition to go find them. There is not that many here, and there's a couple spots where it's really bad. But I think Trey Feeney is going to be the odds-on favorite, probably going to end up being the starting quarterback, in my opinion. It may change by this fall camp. My North Dakota fan, you're going to know more about this, and you can educate everybody where I was wrong at in the comments. Isaiah Smith looks to be the front runner and be doing the main guy in a very improved running back room. I think he's going to do. They're going to have some men there. The wide receiver room is young, but they do have playmakers. So they can do some things there. Offensive line is also young. And I look at it with how well can they blend together? That's my concern with the offensive line. Because the offensive line is coherent and gets together, the rest of the offense will flow. Defensively, the defensive line, well, they're a little undersized, but they're FCS. But they're going to be making plays, so that's a good point for them. Linebacker room has playmakers. The linebacker room is perhaps the best room in the whole, next to the running back room, maybe the whole best room in the whole school, in the whole team. How well can they be, and how well can they produce, and how much pressure can they do from the linebacker position? Because the secondary is very, very young. What do I mean by very, very young? Of the 17 defensive backs that are on the roster, only 6 are upperclassmen, 1 redshirt senior, and 5 juniors. The rest are sophomores and freshmen. This is a very young group. They're going to be prone to make mistakes, and they're going to have to pick things up quickly, or it's going to be a long year. All right. So, and after I've been 7-5 last season in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. For those of you who don't know, that's North Dakota State, South Dakota State's conference. It is competitive. All right, let's start off with their schedule. On the road at Iowa State. I covered this in my Big 12 predictions. They're losing to Iowa State. Then they're home against Montana. Even though you're at home, Montana just has more talent than you do. I'm sorry you're losing that game. Then stay at home against Idaho State. This one, I kind of look at this is kind of like a coin flip. You're at home, I'm giving you the win. Same thing with San Diego. I look at them kind of like a coin flip game to be up for it. Traveling from San Diego up to North Dakota. I think that's going to give you an advantage, and you're going to beat San Diego. Home against Murray State. Same thing, coin flip. It's going to be matchups. You're at home, getting another win again. Then you're on the road against in-state rival North Dakota State. The North Dakota State team who you lost to by 25 at home last year, and I'm sorry, you're losing to them again. Then you go into your bye. FCS only has 1 bye. Out of the bye, at home against Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa. You lost to them 27-0. 27-0 last season. I went and looked at their roster. You have problems. They're worse off than you are. And plus, you're at home with a bye. So I'm going to give you the win against Northern Iowa. On the road at Youngstown State, Youngstown State's a little bit better and talented. Plus, you're on the road. I'm giving Youngstown State the win over you. On the road at Indiana State. Indiana State, you beat them by 3 at home in overtime last year. They're pissed off about that. They want a little bit of revenge. They're a little bit worse off than last year, but I think because they're at home and with that extra motivation factor, I think Indiana State beats you. Then here comes the South Dakota two-step. Home against, and both of them at home, luckily for you, or perhaps unluckily for you, South Dakota State. Oh boy. Defending FCS national champs come to town, where you lost to them by 21 on the road last year, and I'm sorry, they're going to blow you out again. You're losing to that one. Stay at home against South Dakota. You lost to them by 4 on the road last year. They're not exactly in the best position either. You're at home. I'm going to give you the dub, and you're going to beat them. And then you finish off the season on the road, Illinois State. You beat them by 1 at home last year. Because of who they're playing before, because of you're on the road, because of all the things going on here, I think you're going to finish on a strong note, and I'm picking you to beat Illinois State. That's going to be a good win for you. So you finish the season with 2 wins. To finish the season 6-6, is that enough to make the FCS playoffs? I'm North Dakota fans going to have to let everybody know in the comments. Now, let's get to the Ohio, the MAC two-step. One thing about the MAC and my MAC fans, we got Steven out there. He's going to let me know. Is it just me, or is it the MAC is Ohio dominated? Toledo, Miami, Ohio, University of Ohio, Bowling Green's improving, all in the state of Ohio. Is Ohio dominating the MAC? What's going on? More importantly, what's going on with the rest of you? All right. Bowling Green, the Falcons, BGSU. Pass these guys a lot when I'm on the way up to Toledo to do deliveries. But Bowling Green 7-6 last season, lost to Minnesota in the Quick Lane Bowl. Vegas has their win total at 6.5. So they think they're going to be a bowl team this year. Head coach Scott LaFleur, 20-35 in 5 seasons at Bowling Green. So they're improving over what it has been. We have a QB battle. Is it Connor Bazale? Oh my goodness. Connor Bazalik and Camden Ork are the 2 battling it out for the starting job. One of the 2 should be getting it. Stewart is back to lead the running back room, and they need to improve a little bit to help out the offense. Wide receiver room is basically almost a complete rebuild. There's a lot of work to be done there and how well that can blend. But the offensive line is actually in pretty good shape. So I think for them, that's going to do some good for them. That's going to put them in good position. But they do need to improve after what happened last year. Defensively, front 7 is the playmakers for Bowling Green. And they're going to need to be. Because the secondary last year, I looked at what you guys did. To say you were torched at times is an understatement. You almost became a dumpster fire. I mean, it was just horrible. That has to get better. You got beat and torched a lot of times. You have to improve on that. Can you? That's going to be a big focal point for this season. So let's start off with their schedule, shall we? Bowling Green in the MAC starts out the season at home against Fordham. Yeah, that's a win. On the road at Penn State. Yeah, you're going to Happy Valley. And Big Ten prediction video, and what a stunning start to everybody. Yes, I know you're losing to Penn State. Then you get a bye. Then out of the bye, you're on the road in College Station against Texas A&M. No break. SEC predictions, this was on that video, and what a stunner. Yes, I know, you're losing to Texas A&M. Then you're at home against Old Dominion. I looked at Old Dominion, how they were in the Sun Belt, and I basically treat this game like a coin flip. You're at home, so I'm going to give you the win. On the road at Akron, you beat them by 27 last season at home. I think you're beating them again. It may be a lot closer, but I'm having you beat Akron. Then home against Northern Illinois. That also, I think that game's kind of like a coin flip. So you're at home. I'm giving you that win. Kent State, you beat them by 30 on the road last year. Game may be closer, but I'm having you beat Kent State. Then you're on the road at Toledo. I covered this in Subscriber Roll Call Part 1. Unfortunately, you're losing to Toledo after that 4-game winning streak. Get your second bye. You're on the road at Central Michigan. This is also a coin flip type game. And unfortunately for you guys, you're on the road. Central Michigan is a little bit underestimated as how good they can be, and they do have a good, decent home field advantage. So I'm going to give them the win over you, Bowling Green. You're going to lose to Central Michigan. Then you're home against Western Michigan, who you beat by 24 on the road last year. And you're doing it again at home, beating them again. On the road at Ball State, you beat them by 3 at home last year. But I looked at their roster. They are a lot worse off than you were. A lot worse off. So even though you're on the road, and even though you barely beat them at home because of the losses they have, I'm picking you to beat Ball State. And you finished the season at home against defending MAC champs Miami of Ohio. You lost to them 27-0 on the road last year, and unfortunately for you, you're losing to them again. So I'm going to have you go 7-5, 5-3 in the MAC. Now we get to Steven, your team, the Ohio Bobcats. 10-3 last year. They beat Georgia Southern in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Had a great season, but Vegas has your win total at 6.5. Why is it so low? They were absolutely decimated by the portal. Curtis Rourke flew off to Indiana. Too many great players that they had are now at power schools. They lost a lot. But they did bring some players in from the portal and from power schools. How's it working? Well, Parker Navarro... Steven's going to let me know. Steven, that's going to be in the comments here. He's going to let me know where I got wrong. I think he's the leader in the clubhouse to be the starting quarterback. I could be wrong here. Running back room kind of looks like running back by committee. I don't see anybody outstanding. We're going to see how that goes. Offensive line, though, looks pretty damn good. What I don't like is they don't have much depth. That's a problem. That needs to be worked on. Defensively, with the additions they got in the portal, I think they're actually going to be pretty good. I mean, I don't know how well playmaking is going to happen from the defensive line. We're going to see about that, but as a unit, I think they're going to be good. Linebacker room is perhaps the weakest room on the entire team. They are very inexperienced, and there's also a depth issue. So this could be a problem. Secondary, I think it's going to be the stars of the defense. Because they lost some players to the portal, but they had playmakers who are still there and brought in some playmakers. And they're going to have to make plays. Because if the linebackers are not making plays, they're going to have to be all over the place. And I don't know if that's going to stretch them too thin or not. We're going to find out about that. All right, so let's start off with their predictions. Ohio, the Bobcats, you start off the season on the road at the Orangemen in Syracuse. Cover this in the ACC prediction. You're losing to Syracuse. Then you're at home against South Alabama. This is a coin flip game. South Alabama is not an easy team to play, but you're at home. They got to travel up there. I'm picking you to beat South Alabama. Home against Morgan State. Yeah, that's a win. On the road at Kentucky. Cover that in the SEC predictions, and no stunner to anybody. You're losing to Kentucky. Then you're at home against Akron. You beat them by 11 on the road last year. A lot of people think Akron's going to be very improved. I looked at the roster. I'm not sold. So I'm having you, plus you're at home, so I'm having you beat Akron. Then you get your first bye of the season. You're on the road at Central Michigan. I told everybody about, you saw the Bowling Green prediction. Central Michigan's getting a little bit underestimated. This is another case of that. You beat them by 14 last season on the road. And both of you, though, have a bye the week before. So both of you are going to be prepared. They're going to have 2 weeks to gear for you up. The bye is going to help you out, but I think because you're on the road at Central Michigan, you're going to lose to Central Michigan. Then you're on the road at Miami of Ohio. You lost to them by 14 at home last year. I don't think it's going to get any better this year. You're losing to Miami of Ohio. Then you're at home against Buffalo. You beat them by 10 on the road last year. I think you're going to beat them again. You get a win there. Then you get your second bye on the road at Kent State. Kent State, you beat them by 25 at home last year. You're going to beat them again. Home against Eastern Michigan. This is not a coin flip game because you're just more talented than they are. So you're going to beat Eastern Michigan. On the road at Toledo. I covered this in the first subscriber roll call video. You're losing on the road at Toledo. Finish the season off at home against Ball State. I just mentioned the fact that they are in worse shape. They may be in position to be the worst team potentially in the MAC this season. And you're going to beat Ball State. So that you finish the season 7-5, also 5-3 in the MAC. So to do a quick recap here, we're talking about UTEP. It's going to be 4-8. North Dakota and FCS will be 6-6. Bowling Green is going to be 7-5. and Ohio is going to be 7-5. So time for you to let the fans let me know, my subscribers. My paperwork flies everywhere. Let me know in the comments what is going on here. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope everybody's having a great day here. If you haven't, hold on, this stuff's falling over. If you haven't done it already, do me a favor. Smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. It helps the algorithm, helps the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. We have the stories of UTEP, North Dakota, Bowling Green, Ohio. Where did I get it right? Where did I get it wrong? Those of you who are those fans, let me know in the comments. And also, if you haven't, share the video if you want to. And if you haven't done it already, check out some of the other videos I've done. If you like it, hey, subscribe to the channel. On the way to 700 subscribers, slowly but surely on the crawl up to 1,000. So thanks everybody for watching. Next week is the Sunbelt prediction videos. That's going to be Monday through Thursday. Friday is the kickoff show. That's going to be a recap of my top 25. The Sunday show, the recap show for the week on this coming Sunday, I'm going to announce all the schools that made it to the subscriber rankings. And on the Friday show, 1 week from today, I will be ranking all of the subscriber schools and their rank for their preseason ranking. I also will be unveiling my college football playoff, which since I've done damn near everybody at FBS, I'm going to be explaining to you who's going to get the G5 invite, who's going to be seated where and why, and go through who I think is going to win the playoff games and win the national championship. But that's what's coming in the future. So thanks everybody for watching this video. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. Be safe out there, and please be good to each other.